Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, okay, welcome to today's video. I have a really good one for you today. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support on my previous video. I had no idea it was going to do that well. I appreciate the feedback. It blew my mind, honestly. It's super sick. Thank you very much. Okay, today's video we're going to run through some mechanics. We're going to go first back to the basics for anyone that's new that wants to get some mechanics down, and then I'm going to run through different mobs, creatures and everything in between in order for you to become an absolute slayer of creeps and everything in between. Okay, so stay tuned and let's get straight into it. So the premise of this game in its current state is a point and click adventure, right? So in order to move, you click and your guy will move to that location. You can spam click or you can click and hold. Amazing, right? Now the combat system is left click is your basic attack that doesn't use mana but does less damage, and your right click attack is a more powerful attack but it does use mana or energy, whatever you want to call it. So getting into shift, what shift does is it stops your character from moving, so you can attack in mid-air and hit things before they get there. Now some very important keybinds that I have is I've rebound shift to spacebar because I found that my little pinky finger was getting sore after hours of play, but I'm so used to pressing spacebar in other games that it helped a lot. So I recommend finding at least 2 different binds for your shift. I've also bounded on the mouse so that I can grind one-handed if I'm a little bit tired. Okay, then camera movement, super important. I've rebound my camera to A and D because it's the standard WASD movement that you'll have in other video games. So I highly recommend binding your camera movement to A, your camera rotation to A and D, so you can move the camera around like so. It helps a lot. You can check the corners, it gives you more visibility. Super important. Now another thing to get good with is your quick switch of weapons. So you can spam Q or you can just tap it. It helps you to kill creeps that are close range as well as far range as well. So that's something to practice on to get good, and then you start to progress a lot faster. I've rebound my heals and relics. I've rebound a couple inventory slots as well as my relics. So when you're in a pinch, you can just tap away and it pops off without you having to stress about clicking it with your mouse. Okay, so those are the good keybinds. Those are the simple mechanics, the right click, left click. Now what you want to do is you want to start getting comfortable with playing. You want to have some fluid movement. You want to be able to get your guy to go forward and then pull back really quickly to try and avoid attacks. All of these feed into each other. Another thing is dodging attacks. Now there's many different mobs with many different attacks, so it's about learning each mob's attack. I'm going to be running through each different mob's attack very quickly just so you can get a basic gist of it and how to deal with them. So once you've got your mouse movements fluid, you'll start to learn timing. Timing is a very good thing to learn for your attacks. You know when something's going to attack, what attack it's going to use, how to dodge, if it's worth getting close. All of these things are going to come with time, but I'll help you with a little bit of the timing further on in the video. Now let's move on to some of the more advanced mechanics, which is fairly simple to grasp. It'll be easy, just give yourself some time, give yourself some tries. Now there's using shift to hit the area in front of you, but there's also times when using shift isn't the best option. I find particularly with Grods that I swap between using shift and just right clicking on them, because there's a certain range in which their punches work or which their concussions work. So I like to make sure I maintain the furthest distance from them when I can attack them, so I can get out, do a 360 no scope and get back in. Okay, now picking enemies is very important as well. There's going to be a lot of different mobs that have different effects, right? Spiders slow you, Grods concuss you, Vampats concuss you, there's a shitload of poison, there's fire, there's everything in between, okay? The most important thing I find to go for is a spider. If there are spiders on your map and there's a combination of poison and fire and some hard-hitting creeps, the spiders will do the most damage, because if you get rooted, everything will hit you at once. So I typically pick out the spiders, and then I'll go for something of poison or fire, and then the rest of the mobs. So it'll help you a lot to save HP, as well as choosing who to take out at right time. So picking enemies that are coming at you is a very helpful skill to have. Now, another one is sound cues. When you get into a room, or you hit a node, or you aggro the mobs, listen to what mob is coming, right? You can hear 2 or 3 sometimes, but if you anticipate what's coming, like you hear a buzzing sound, you know that a bee is about to sting you, which can hurt, or a fairy, or a bee, a fairy, and a slither. So pay attention to sound cues, it can definitely save your life. So now that we've run over a couple of the outlines of combat, of movement, mechanics, what to look out for, now it's time for you to hop in game and test it out. Test out with various different mobs and stuff, see if you can put the mechanics to use, and if they benefit you. And if they do, let me know. If they didn't, I hope there's something for you in the next video. Okay, so if you enjoyed today's video, just leave a little comment, let me know. You know, some feedback is always good. If you would like to see some other content or have any tips for me, I'd be really keen to hear it. I love making videos about this game. I love playing the game even more. So yeah, if there is anything you want to see, just let me know. Now I'm gonna leave a couple clips of the loot I found over the last week. I found some insane drops that got me super hyped. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe, that'd be pretty sick. Anyway, I have been LiQWYD. I will see you in game.